I've been researching what a feature film director does and what it takes to become one. Film has been around since the late 1800s. According to the Internet Movie Database, there's been almost 400,000 feature films made up to November 2017, but the actual amount of films is likely to be much higher. With all these films, it required a crew of people to make them, and the person guiding them all is the director. There is no official number stating the amount of working directors, but according to a study by USC Annenberg, between 2007 to 2016, there are 1,114 directors working on 1,000 movies. 96% were male and 4% were female. The director is expected to guide the huge team of people that work on a film towards one central idea. They help plan during the beginnings at pre-production, or the final say during production, and they're consulted constantly throughout post-production. A director can come on at any time during pre-production. They could have written the script themselves, or a producer could have brought them on. The key thing the director does during this time is break down the screenplay to decide exactly what makes the story work. They will usually even have parts rewritten at this phase in order to get a shared vision between writer and director. I asked Rob Brown, a filmmaker and lecturer from Bath-Spa University, about what a director does during pre-production. He wrote and directed the feature film 16 on a small budget of £100,000. He told me that it took 4 years from having the idea for the film to having it premiered in Leicester Square. 3 years of that was spent writing, and then it was calling in a bunch of favours to get things done. Other parts of pre-production are casting, location scouting, storyboarding, and rehearsing, so that the film is made before anyone steps foot on set. Once all this has been done, production can commence. According to the book Getting into Films and Television, a typical day on set usually starts with the director meeting the DOP to choreograph the scene. Once this has been sorted, the director can start rehearsing with the actors whilst the DOP and crew set up the lighting. Then when it comes to shooting, the director's main focus is on the actors. A good director knows the importance of a good performance, and to do that, the director needs to let the actor take risks and not force them to act a certain way. Adrian Weiss, a directing coach, states that a good actor is living an imaginary circumstance as if it's true, and that their energy needs to be directed towards achieving a goal. The director and actors need to trust one another. Once the first take is completed, the director consults with his crew and decides whether or not to go for another take. Then once a shot is in the can, the director moves on to the next scene and the process repeats. After shooting for the day is wrapped, the director will talk to the producers and the DOP to discuss what they are filming tomorrow. Then the director and some other key crew will sit down and watch the day's footage to see if they are going in the right direction and give feedback to each other. This whole process is repeated for a couple weeks till principal photography is completed. Finally, we move into post-production. The editor will have all the footage organised into an assembly cut, and it's his job to turn it into a rough cut. The director is expected to consult with the editor and let them do what they think works for the film using their years of experience. However, final say on disagreements usually comes down to the director. Once a rough cut is made, it is shown to the producers. Reshoots are typically done during the producer feedback, and once those are done, the editor and director can move on to final pieces like sound design, ADR, music, and VFX. Once all these are done, you have a completed movie. It's all well and good knowing what a director does, but how does one become a director in the first place? There is no set path to becoming a film director, but there are steps you can take to give you a good chance. I sat down with Rosie Goins, a freelance producer-director who used to work for the BBC Natural History Unit, working on shows like Wild Alaska Live and Mountain Gorilla. Rosie says that her path to becoming a director was quite a common one, in that she slowly worked her way up the ladder doing different jobs till she ended up directing and producing. Rosie says the best way to start is by becoming a runner. A runner is expected to do a lot of the menial work, but they are able to observe lots of different departments on a film set, and allows them to gain valuable knowledge that they can demonstrate on the next job and potentially get more important roles along the way. Whereas Rob Brown took a more academic route. He attended Bournemouth University doing an undergraduate film course. His attitude towards film school is that he is at a place where he has a bunch of like-minded people he can work with, access to high-end equipment, and set out to make as many films as he could. That way, when he left university, he would have lots of material to show and hopefully get jobs. Rob said he was lucky and was able to get an agent as soon as he left university. According to Matthew Bates, during a podcast with the BFI Network, an agent covers 4 areas: creative feedback, promotion, career guidance, and contractual stuff. Agents won't make your film, but they can help you get in contact with the people that will. Rob says in order to get an agent, you need at least 2 short films, and then you will probably have to do the festival circuit and win an award or 2. One final way to become a director is by going through the independent cinema route. The book, Inside Track for Independent Filmmakers, says that with the advent of crowdfunding, independent cinema has a whole new source of funding. With crowdfunding, you are effectively able to double your money, because not only will you have money from your backers, those backers will also be your audience for your movie. In the end, feature film directing is a competitive role in an even more competitive industry. But if you understand what is required of you and know what steps you can take to achieve it, then there is nothing stopping you from doing it.